Welcome to the Jack Copland Centre, which is our headquarters of the SNBTS. We're here today to recognise the work that our team has done over this past year as part of the NSS Excellence Awards, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here today to showcase some of the things that we do at SNBTS. When we were given the list of people who were nominated for the awards, I was absolutely blown away. We had 26 separate nominations for Excellence Awards within our organisation, including some people who received multiple nominations too. As we were going through the list of people to try to choose someone that we could give the award to, we realised just how impossible it is to single one person or team out. So we've made the decision this year to highlight some of the great work that goes on behind the scenes at SNBTS to show that it takes a whole team to be able to deliver the results that we have over this past year. We all know the challenges of this past year and the things that have come our way that we've had to respond to rapidly. And indeed, I'm standing here outside the donor testing laboratory next to these pieces of equipment here that were used in the early stages of testing public for COVID-19 before the testing capacity in Scotland was increased. And that's just one example of the flexibility and the proactiveness of us as SNBTS and the team, how they've pulled together. So I hope that you enjoy hearing some of the stories from our teammates at SNBTS. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who makes this place the best place in the world to work. Thank you.
We provide therapeutic apheresis procedures and we do cell therapy collections for the patients of Scotland through SNBTS. I was delighted to be appointed to this new role to lead the nursing staff within clinical apheresis, so it's a really exciting opportunity for me, and I think it was really what I would term as my dream job, if you like. One of the fantastic projects that we've had in relation to the pandemic is the introduction of the Convalescent Plasma Initiative. So this is a service that would usually be carried out by the donor service, but just at that time they didn't initially have the capacity, so the clinical apheresis department stepped forward and offered to put that in place. We managed to get it all up and running within about 6 weeks. We had training to roll out, documentation to develop, we had to validate machinery for that. It was really massive, but I was so proud of the whole team. The medics and the nursing staff really pulled together. I've worked for the organisation for a long time. I joined SNBTS actually more than 30 years ago. So I'm really proud to work for SNBTS. I think it's given me fantastic opportunities. My work is always really interesting. The team is really patient focused and they amaze me every day that they go above and beyond, and we get fantastic feedback from our patients.
My name is ALASDAIR FRASER. I'm the Research Manager for Tissue, Cells and Advanced Therapeutics, and our kind of remit is to develop new therapies using blood and other tissues and develop them for use in clinical trials and in therapy. Some of the big success stories we've had over the last couple of years have included macrophages, which have been used to treat chronic liver disease. We've used corneal stem cells to treat eye damage, and in particular T cells to treat virus-specific diseases, including cancer. One of the areas that I think we've been most proud of has been the development right from the start for a new T-cell therapy to treat potentially patients with COVID. Rachel Cooper was the lead on this, who did the vast majority of the research work involved. This involved from March really through to end of June, working long days, late nights, weekends, so that we could develop this therapy effectively, identify whether we could pull out these cells, whether we could grow them up into sufficient quantity to use them, and then identify all the different characteristics of this new T-cell therapy. Once we had this developed, by the end of June and into July, we actually had enough data together to pull a publication which went into press. It was one of the first papers in the world to actually describe this new T-cell therapy. And this, of course, is not just one person involved in this. This is a whole team, and we couldn't have done any of this work without having had the support of donor services to identify new patients and bring them in, from quality helping us to put stuff together, and from the TCAT GMP team, who are responsible for actually taking this developmental work and taking it into a full manufacturing material.
The session supply department is responsible for putting out all the sessions for the outside sessions for Edinburgh and Glasgow, and looking after the Glasgow and Edinburgh donor centres for stock and for equipment and for consumables. If it wasn't for session supplies doing the boxes that we put out, the cages that we put out, no session would be able to go ahead. The past year, I think it's on everybody's mind, is COVID. The challenges is having the PPE to supply the staff. We've had issues trying to get stock from stores. We've had ups and downs in here, but the department stayed open. We've managed to cover every session that's outside and the centres to keep them going. I've worked for SNBTS for 24 years, so I have. I love being in here. It's just great. The last year, as I say, I think everybody's came together and it's been a great place to work.
So the Infection Prevention Control Service, which I provide, is responsible for the whole of NSS. The organisation I just joined about 18 months ago. Obviously I had objectives and ideas for the Infection Prevention Control Service for the organisation, and a lot of that work's pushed back a bit just because of the support that's been provided across the rest of the organisation from a COVID perspective. I think the biggest one there was probably being asked to help support set up the Infection Prevention Control Service for the Louisa Jordan. You should undertake an HI scribe so that you're looking at any potential infection risks for the construction staff, for the people who are on site, and potentially for any patients that would be treated in that particular facility. So to bring that piece of work within 2 to 3 weeks was an amazing opportunity, and certainly it's going to be up there with one of those memorable things, although it was exceptionally busy because I was still doing my SNBTS day job. So I was trying to juggle both at the time, and my colleagues in SNBTS really needed some support because we were coming into that first wave. My primary function and role is to provide my service for SNBTS. I was very proud of the way they embraced the guidance that came out. I know I don't provide frontline care anymore, but actually supporting my colleagues to do that is the best thing. So I suppose my caring part has been probably most utilised by supporting our clinical staff to deliver the job that they need to do and maintain that blood stock, and maintain the confidence in staff in doing their job, and maintaining the confidence for the public that are coming to donate and the patients that are coming to our clinical services. So that makes me proud that they've been able to embrace all of that change, and that I've been able to in some way be of a help to support them.
The exciting thing that we do is we collect whole blood, platelets and convalescent plasma throughout the west of Scotland. My goodness, it's been a year. It was very difficult at the beginning. We never knew what was coming, and things would change, and we would get a new announcement for the government, and then we would change things again. So the staff worked on their tiptoes the whole time and responded really, really well to all the changes that happened with the government and just everything that was going on round about coronavirus. We never closed at all. So I think, to me, as a manager, that is one of the, it's just such a good thing to be able to see. We never once shut this door. We went on collecting no matter what came our way. So I think I'm really proud of the team. So we've had several incidents, but I think probably one of the most scary, can we say, but most rewarding for our staff happened towards the end of June, when we had a serious incident out in the main streets where there was a stabbing up at the Park Inn. And at the time, our staff didn't know that it was a stabbing. It was treated as a terrorist attack, and our staff stayed with their donors, made sure that the donors were all seen to, got the people off the beds, we got people out the building, we got people all shipped and taken home. We shut down the building, did that all safely, and it was all done within a matter of hours. So I have worked for SNBTS for 26 years. I started off as a staff nurse in the blood collection teams. So I have worked my way right through the organisation to the senior nurse. I would say my sister works here, my brother-in-law works here. A lot of my friends that are nurses work here. We're a family. We're more than just a team, we're a family. We work together. So as an organisation, I'm very proud to be part of the SNBTS. I see myself being here for a long, long time, but I love how things are changing, it's dynamic, it's shifting. You know, it's exciting times. It's exciting times for SNBTS.
Well, there you go. Some great examples of the work that goes on here at SNBTS. I'm sure you'll agree with me that these people do a wonderful job every day. but have stepped up beyond what we would normally expect of them over this past year. And again, I hope you'll agree with me that it's not just this handful of folk that we've been able to interview today that make this place work. I'm so honoured to be a member of SNBTS and work as part of the broader NHS in Scotland as well, improving the lives of the people of Scotland on a daily basis. I hope you'll join with me in congratulating not only these people, but everyone else that makes this such a great place to work. Thank you.